Imagine this. One day, you wake up and realize you've lost something irreplaceable. It's not just a relationship, it's the emotional stability, security, and inspiration that person brought into your life. No matter who you are, that feeling of emptiness is devastating. Now here's the shocker. What if I told you that losing a high-value man isn't just an experience, but a lesson? One that can transform your life if you let it. The pain of emotional loss can be overwhelming, but it can also be the starting point for something extraordinary. You might be wondering, why did he feel so irreplaceable? What made his absence leave a void that seems impossible to fill? The answer lies in a combination of biology, memory, and something even deeper, what he reflected back about you. Here's the thing. You don't have to be a prisoner of these emotions. There's a way to move forward, grow, and even thrive. And the most surprising part? The key is rooted in an ancient philosophy that many overlook: Stoicism. This approach could be your pathway to reclaiming control over your emotions, finding purpose in the pain, and rewriting the narrative of your life. In this video, we'll unravel the biological, emotional, and philosophical mechanisms behind this experience. You'll learn how to turn loss into power using lessons taught centuries ago by masters like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus. By the end, you'll realize that the true high value has been within you all along. Ready to discover how the pain of loss can be the ultimate game changer in your life? Then keep watching, because the answers you've been searching for are about to be revealed. When a woman realizes she has lost a high-value man, the emotional impact is not just profound, it's devastating. It's not merely about missing someone, it's the sudden awareness that something foundational is gone, the emotional security and stability he represented. It's like losing a safe harbor in the middle of a storm. Imagine feeling anchored, only to have the ground pulled out from under your feet that captures the essence of this loss. Here's a relatable example. It's like breaking a valuable object that's always been there, only to realize its significance when it's reduced to scattered pieces on the floor. Similarly, the absence of this man brings a sharp realization of his unique contribution to her emotional and practical equilibrium. Layered onto this is the weight of memories that keep resurfacing, like persistent ghosts. This kind of loss often triggers an involuntary plunge into feelings of powerlessness. For many, the immediate reflex is to look back, trying to trace the steps that led to the mistake. Yet ironically, clinging to these memories makes moving forward even harder. How can one ignore the comfort and presence he once provided, even though they're now out of reach? The shock also strikes a subtler, yet equally painful chord. The realization that this man embodied self-sufficiency and emotional control. He didn't just navigate adversities, he made it look effortless. That inner strength, which once seemed almost contagious, leaves a void that's not easily filled. What makes it worse? The world around her often doesn't grasp the depth of this loss. While well-meaning advice like just move on might be offered, she faces an intense internal battle, wrestling with the persistent memory of what was lost. It's not only about who he was, but about who she was when she was with him. The irony is that this very shock often ignites the spark of introspection needed to look inward and confront the lessons behind the loss. It's here that the doors to the next chapter begin to open, subtly planting the seeds for true transformation. Losing someone who embodied the qualities of a high-value man leaves no room for escape. The impact forces a pause. As painful as this pause might feel, it holds a unique opportunity for introspection. It's a moment to look into the mirror, not just to see the reflection, but to question the choices and actions that led to this point. Why did something that seemed so stable fall apart? The silence of those answers is deafening. but necessary. The principles of Stoicism teach us that adversity carries the potential for growth. When faced with loss, the need for self-sufficiency becomes undeniable. A practical starting point. Taking small steps toward independence, managing finances, creating routines without relying on someone else, or setting personal goals. Each step reinforces the truth that real power comes from within. But the journey of self-discovery is not easy. There are moments of self-pity, persistent memories that toy with emotions. Here, the concept of emotional control becomes vital. A woman who begins to understand that while external situations can't always be controlled, her reactions to them can be, finds a new sense of balance. A helpful exercise, journaling daily thoughts to organize emotions and identify behavioral patterns. This period also brings difficult questions. What if the loss was a lesson? Perhaps he wasn't just a figure of security, but a mirror reflecting the strengths and weaknesses she needs to cultivate or overcome within herself. This shift in perspective is powerful. It transforms grief into fuel for a clearer, more value-driven future. Interestingly, as introspection deepens, something remarkable happens. The persistent memories, once perceived as obstacles, become teachers. Each memory surfaces lessons about how she can grow stronger emotionally. The search for stability is no longer external. It becomes an internal construction, guided by her own values and priorities. This transformation, though challenging, opens the door to a more resilient state of mind. But the journey doesn't end here. As she begins to understand what needs to change, the next challenge arises. Confronting the biological and emotional impulses pulling her backward while striving to move forward. The emotional connection a woman feels with a high-value man isn't purely psychological. It's rooted in biology, reinforcing the bond. The pursuit of stability and security is deeply instinctual, a legacy of human evolution. When that stability vanishes, the brain goes into high alert, desperately trying to restore the lost equilibrium. The result? An almost uncontrollable urge to reconnect, even if it means overlooking signs that reconciliation might not be viable. Think about how the body reacts to stress. A racing heart, thoughts spinning in circles. This cycle is no different when dealing with emotional absence. Biology works against her, constantly reminding her of the comfort that's gone. In these moments, understanding the mechanisms behind these feelings is vital. Books like Why We Love by Helen Fisher can shed light on the science of emotions, offering a touch of logic amid the internal chaos. Still, there's an internal struggle between the rational and the emotional. The rational mind says, move on, while the emotional mind clings to the good times. Here, the Stoic practice of questioning thoughts becomes a powerful tool. Asking oneself, is this desire grounded in reality or an idealization, can be a crucial step toward regaining emotional control and avoiding impulsive backslides. Let's be honest, though. Escaping the pull of emotional security isn't easy. It acts like a magnet, pulling her back, often disguised as nostalgia. A common example? The temptation to send that late-night text. However, it's important to remember that most of the time, what we're seeking is a solution for inner turmoil, not for the relationship itself. This biological impulse, while strong, isn't insurmountable. Recognizing that the desire for stability can be redirected towards self-care and personal growth is liberating. Instead of searching for what's missing in another person, she can channel her energy into hobbies, studies, or new friendships that build a stronger emotional foundation. This phase of the journey carries a crucial lesson. It's possible to live without relying on the stability offered by someone else. Yet lingering memories persist, whispering reminders of what's been lost. It's the next stage, confronting those whispers, that becomes the true test of emotional growth. Memories have a sneaky way of creeping in during moments of quiet. They show up as a whisper in the middle of the night or a flashback triggered by a song. When it comes to a meaningful relationship, these recollections aren't just fleeting. They're vivid scenes, filled with details that make them impossible to ignore. For a woman who's lost a high-value man, these persistent memories can feel like a double-edged sword, painful, yet irresistibly alluring. Have you ever noticed how the brain seems to enjoy revisiting the past? This incessant loop of reminiscence creates an emotional weight that feels impossible to shake. Worse, the brain often edits these memories, highlighting the good times while glossing over the challenges. Recognizing this tendency is the first step toward gaining perspective. Books like The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle can offer valuable insights into breaking free from the grip of these memories. Still, these recollections can be brutal. They bring waves of guilt and endless what-ifs that echo without pause. While this constant self-analysis is painful, it can also be transformative. Instead of drowning in regret, why not use these memories as a tool to identify patterns and grow? If a specific mistake keeps resurfacing, it might be pointing to something that needs attention. It's crucial to understand that memories don't simply vanish because you want them to. They need space to exist and eventually lose their intensity. A practical exercise. Write down these memories in a journal, detailing not just what happened, but how they made you feel. This can help you process them and gradually let them go. Then there's the matter of how these memories shape your view of the future. Each time they resurface, they present a dilemma: move forward or turn back. This crossroads can trap someone in the past, but it can also be the spark for transformation. A gentle reminder: life isn't static, and memories reflect that. They might hurt now, but they can also pave the way for acceptance and growth. As she begins to balance the weight of memories with the need to move forward, a powerful truth emerges. The tools to navigate this journey, like emotional control and resilience, have always been within reach, waiting to be activated. It's at this point that the timeless lessons of Stoicism come into play, laying the groundwork for a new understanding of life and what truly matters. The Stoics teach us that true freedom doesn't come from controlling the world around us, but from mastering our emotions and thoughts. For a woman grappling with the void left by a high-value man, the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus offers a beacon in the midst of emotional turmoil. They remind us that while we cannot change the past or others' actions, we can choose how we respond to them. Picture this. Instead of clinging to regret, she begins to practice the Stoic principle that every loss is an opportunity to shape a new beginning. This idea may seem simple, but it's incredibly transformative. A practical exercise? Try this. Each morning, write down 3 things within your control and 3 that are not. This practice helps focus on actionable steps rather than unproductive wishes or regrets. Another cornerstone of Stoicism is the concept of amor fati, loving one's fate. This means accepting what has happened not as a mistake, but as part of the journey. It's an invitation to turn pain into strength rather than merely enduring it. Think of a past challenge you've overcome. Wasn't it that very acceptance that eventually brought peace? By applying emotional control, she also learns to filter what truly deserves her attention. The Stoics believed that much of our distress stems from problems that aren't real, but projections of our minds. Practices like meditation or mindfulness can be invaluable here. Even something as simple as 5 minutes of conscious breathing can slow racing thoughts and bring clarity to the present moment. But there's something deeper. The realization that a high-value man wasn't the source of her strength, but a reflection of it. The qualities she admired in him, emotional control, perseverance, self-sufficiency are qualities she can cultivate within herself. Books like Meditations by Marcus Aurelius become powerful guides on this journey of self-discovery. Finally, the Stoics remind us that every adversity carries a seed of wisdom. It's not just about overcoming the loss, but emerging stronger and wiser on the other side. With every step toward emotional control and introspection, she moves closer to a new chapter, one where the pain of the past transforms into lessons for the future. Now that you understand even the deepest pain holds the potential for transformation, the question remains, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you let memories and emotions control your present, or will you use them as fuel to become stronger, more resilient, and truly self-sufficient? Stoicism teaches us that true freedom comes from mastering our reactions, not controlling external events. Are you ready to start applying this to your life? Small steps can make a big difference. Practice introspection, keep a journal, and learn to distinguish between what you can control and what you cannot. Most importantly, turn your loss into an opportunity to rediscover your worth. Think about it. What's holding you back from taking the next step? Perhaps it's the fear of leaving behind the comfort of the past. But here's the truth. The past doesn't define you, and the future is waiting for you to shape it. Which memories are you ready to let go of? What habits will you start cultivating to build a stronger version of yourself? If you're committed to continuing this journey of self-discovery and growth, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. This way, you'll never miss upcoming videos packed with valuable insights. Together, let's explore how to overcome challenges, learn from Stoicism, and transform adversity into strength. Change starts now, and it starts with you.